Hey there, in this episode we're going to talk about why skill matters so much and why now it matters more than ever, as well as how you can develop it faster in your life. That's what we're going to talk about in this episode. Welcome to episode 22 of the Accelerated Achievement Show. Skill is such a massive part of success, and I call it the simple secret behind the world's highest achieving people. Frankly, because if there's anything that directly correlates to great levels of success, great levels of influence, great levels of fame, great levels of wealth, great levels of even sometimes happiness, although we're still testing a lot of this stuff, even though sometimes happiness, it's skill. Why? It's because when you become great at what you do, when you develop your skill, great levels of opportunities open up. Behind every Olympic gold medal is a huge amount of skill. Behind every Oscar nomination, about every Peace Prize, every Nobel Prize, there is a huge amount of skill behind it. Behind every high-performing organization is a huge amount of skill, as well as often led by somebody, a leader with an even higher level of skill, more often than not. And if we look at all of these different examples across pretty much all industries, across all professions, skill is the non-debatable. Skill is not debatable. If you don't have the skills, if you're not good enough at what you do, and now I don't say that as in you're born a certain way, it's trainable, as we found now based on years and years of research. We found that it's far more controllable and trainable than we think, our skill level and our ability to become extraordinary at what we do, at our craft. But if you want to become great, if you want to achieve extraordinary results, you must become extraordinarily skilled. If you want to achieve good results, you must become good at what you do, or higher, at least good at what you do. And there's a correlation between success and your level of skill at what you do. If you lack the skills, you can work hard, you can be productive, but skill is one of the biggest correlations that we found. Not IQ, not genetics, skill. Not your upbringing, not your schooling, but skill is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, correlation between the skill and the success that person gets. And I talk about in my book, Skilled Success, about how the higher level of skill you have, the greater level of impact potential and income potential you have. Meaning, as you go on your journey, and let's say you're a musician, the world's greatest musician, for example, throughout history, like Mozart, have far greater levels of income potential, meaning how much income they can earn from their craft if effectively monetized, and impact, meaning how many people they can reach and inspire with their music. Someone who's great at what they do have a new level of opportunity, and they have a new level of income potential and impact potential than someone, for example, starting out. If I'm just, let's say, starting out as a musician, I'm not going to have the same income. I'm not going to be able to earn the same income, have the same impact on the world with my music as someone who's extraordinary. Which means the higher your level of skill, the higher your level of success, the higher your level of income potential, the higher your level of impact, about legacy, about contribution potential as well. So that's one of the biggest things. It's about skill. That's why it's so important. It correlates to higher levels of achievement. So whatever it is you want to achieve in your life, and there are different people have different goals, we know that. Different people have different goals, but whatever you want to achieve, one of the universal principles, one of the universal correlations is skill. Skill correlates to higher levels of success and is one of the biggest differentiators between success and failure at anything. How good are you? And it's controllable. We now know, based on years and years of research, not just me personally, but as a society, as a group of people inside these fields of study, we now know that based on studies in neuroscience, human psychology, positive psychology, performance psychology, human behavior, all of these areas and more, we now know that factors like IQ and genetics and innate talent aren't correlated to higher levels of skill, meaning they have an impact, but their impact is far smaller and you have far greater levels of control and trainability around your skill. So whatever you want to become great at, there is a strategy to that, and I share more about that in my book, Skilled Success. But next thing is, why is it more important now than ever before? Because skill is more important now and it's getting more and more important. Why? Number of reasons. First one is, we compete on a global level today. And if you're someone who is involved in this internet connected world, especially if you're very active in it, this is a very important point, so pay attention to this. We now compete on a global level. So for example, if we take our grandparents or our great-grandparents, if they were, let's say, a graphic designer, that they were competing against, let's say, all the different graphic designers in their small little town. Today, as we know, the world is very different. Now that same graphic designer isn't just competing against the different graphic designers in their town, now they're competing against all the graphic designers in the world. With all these freelance opportunities and freelance sites, they're now competing against all the graphic designers on the world. And as this competition gets higher, now being good at what you do no longer gives you good results. It gets you below good results. And becoming great at what you do no longer gets you great results. It gets you below great. Hence, we must up our level of skill. But why is it worth your while? Because now it's harder to get great at what you do. It's harder to stand out as we compete on this interconnected world that we live in. And this has been very much created through the internet connectedness that we've now been able to go and achieve through the internet, through far lower travel costs. All of this has moved us closer and connected us as a planet, which means I can have someone on the other side of the planet doing the work for me in real time, and I don't just have to look within the small town. Hence, you, let's say you're, for example, a lawyer, you're not just competing like your grandparents would have with the different lawyers in your town or your city. You're competing against the lawyers on the planet or in your country. You're competing on a much bigger scale. Hence, good performance doesn't just get you good results but anymore. It gets you below good results. Hence, you must become better. But why is it worth your while? Because not only is standing out more difficult now, but the upside is far greater than it's ever been before. For example, if you're good at what you do, if you're a phenomenal pianist, let's say, before, if you did a great performance, people watching you did a great performance before, they may have shared it with their 5 of their friends. Now, in the world that we live in today, in the 21st century, and it will continue to grow down this path, greater and greater importance. And now you're not just 5 people going to share it. Now with the internet, with the interconnectedness, with social media, now you have an opportunity for your message, for that filming of that, let's say, performance can now be shared with potentially tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. It has the potential to go viral or partially viral within your community compared to just being shared with a few people, which means it's harder to get that same level of upside as before, but your upside is also multiplied because of this interconnected world that we live in. And then beyond that, in the information age we live in, our ability to learn as innovation speeds up, as technology advancement speeds up, our ability to learn, to adapt to ongoing change, and our ability to become great at what we do is now more important ever as well, because of exactly that, the fact that we're in an information age and change is speeding up. Change is a constant. It's a great quote that says, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, it's not the fittest, it's not the healthiest, it's the people that are the most adaptable to change. It's not word for the quote, I'll link it down below, but the quote is all about, it's those that are most adaptable to change, and change is only speeding up. Change is speeding up more and more, hence we must get good at learning, our ability to learn new things quickly, to pick up new skills, to adapt to change. And if you're someone who wants to get good at what you do, now's the best time for you to do it because your upside is multiplied, which means you have far greater levels of impact you can have on the world because of the interconnectedness, because of social media, because of the internet, because of people are more interconnected on this planet. Gives you that greater opportunity, but understand that you're competing on a global level, which means more pain, more gain. The upside is multiplied. You're competing on a global level. We all are. A lawyer is, a graphic designer is, someone who's building websites, they're competing on a global level. Someone who's serving food, someone who's shipping books, all competing on a very much a national, on a minimum, and a global level in most cases because of what we have today. So if you want to get great at what you do, now is the best time for you to do it. Your upside is multiplied. Skill correlates to higher levels of success. Hence, if you're looking for, okay, how do I achieve more, get better at what you do, go and train, and just like an athlete, put in time to just train your craft. So many people get complacent, they plateau, they get to a good enough level where they can earn some money, then they plateau and they don't get better. They don't continue to develop themselves. Yeah, if you want to become extraordinary, you have a great opportunity to, with so much information available about pretty much every industry, every profession. You can go and you can find it, hunt it down, and use it and train and develop your skills. Because number one, skill is critically important to success. It correlates one of the biggest factors that decides success or failure. And then beyond that, it's more important than ever before because of the interconnected world that we live in, because you're competing on a global scale nowadays, and because change is speeding up. You have to adapt to it faster. You have to be able to learn new things faster, be ahead of that learning curve in whatever industry you are in. Hence, take time to train, take time to develop, keep pushing that envelope in how good you are. Take whatever you are, whatever your thing is, whatever your level of craft is, whatever your topic is, go and become great at it. And if you want more tools about how you can accelerate your learning, about how you can train just like the world's highest performing people, like the best, and how you can become extraordinary at anything you set your mind to, make sure you pick up a copy of my book, Skilled Success. You can get a copy for free if you just cover the shipping and handling. It'll be linked down below. Make sure you check that out and get a free paperback copy of that as well, to give you more of the strategy, the practical tools. But make sure you deploy this philosophy. Understand that skill is critically important, and as with greater skill come greater impact, greater income potential. You can go out there, you can dominate in the information age we live in, but it's important for us to understand this and then go and execute on it. So thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like, make sure you comment below your greatest takeaway from this. Make sure you share this out to other people so they're aware of the world that we live in and how important skill is. And then go out, make sure you subscribe or follow this so that you stay tuned for more episodes of the Accelerated Achievement Show, helping you accelerate your achievement.
Achievement accelerated with the Accelerated Achievement Show.